Virginity is cool. Come on, come on. Virginity is cool. Come on, come on. Virginity is cool. What up, what up? Virginity is cool. All right, thank you.
Hey, fellow gamers. I'm sure you're all very aware of the absolute god tier TV channel, TLC, and their amazing informative content. TLC stands for the Learning Channel, but you don't really learn much on there. You kind of just cringe at how awkward it is. And that kind of makes it very popular with commentary channels. Their cringiness and drama and awkwardness, it's comedy gold, essentially. Like, it's very fun to discuss, very fun to talk about. And recently I was looking into some of their clips, and I stumbled upon their gem of a show called I Love a Mama's Boy. And basically this show covers different people and couples that are dealing with issues related to the man having close relationships with their mother, and it's interfering with their relationships. So yeah, recently I found some clips of this guy named Shakib and his girlfriend Emily, and I think that you'll find that Shakib's relationship with his mother is very, very interesting, to say the least. Let's just get into the clips.
Emily and I've been dating Shakib for about 3 years. When I first met Shakib, I felt like the happiest woman in the world.
Like, I felt like we met at some past life or something like it. It's like we instantly just clicked.
So as Emily said, they've been together for about 3 years, and you know, that's a pretty solid and serious relationship. I think most people would agree that this is a pretty cute couple. But seeing as how what the show is about, man, I can't wait to see how Shakib's mom screws it up for him.
If I win this point, you owe me a kiss. Oh, see? It's called strategy.
Okay, so first of all, Emily did not even try to hit that shuttlecock. And yes, that's what the balls from badminton are called. They're called shuttlecocks. She literally put no effort into hitting it back. So that just leads me to believe that, like a lot of stuff on TLC, the producers kind of just tell them to make it happen. So I do believe a lot of the stuff that goes on TLC is about 70% like true to what actually happens in real life. But I do know that, and it's pretty obvious that producers kind of coerce people into doing what they think is going to get views on their channels. Also, my boy Shakib, he's being a total Chad here, showing off his athletic prowess so he can secure that kiss. You know, definitely a very attractive form there, hitting that ball. But obviously I'm joking. But he is kind of acting like a middle schooler. You know, he's like, if I score this point, then I get a kiss. That kind of stuff is the kind of stuff that you'd hear back in 5th and 6th grade. But spoiler alert, he kind of, as the clips go on, he kind of devolves more and more into this middle schooler mentality, and you'll see when his mom gets brought into the picture.
I think our relationship is really fun, adventurous.
We're here just swimming.
Outdoorsy. I want to go on like a mini getaway.
Like where?
Something where we've both never been.
Alright, jokes aside, I do really think that these two make a cute couple, and it kind of pains me to know what's coming concerning Shakib's behavior. Because, you know, Emily seems like a really nice girl, and they both seem to be pretty happy with where they're at in their relationship. But these sweet little moments that TLC keeps peppering in, they're just the calm before the storm, basically.
I hope that one day we can start a family of our own. But, you know, realistically, I gotta face the facts. His whole world, his whole life revolves around his mother and no one else.
So this is where the whole fantasy perfect couple aspect of the relationship kind of comes crashing down. As you heard, Emily wants to take the next step in the relationship, and she's even hoping to have kids with Shakib. But his whole life, as she explains, is basically centered around his mother, which is kind of wild because he's 30 years old. And as you can see from her face at the end of that clip, she's not very happy about it. She looks pissed, and rightly so, as you'll see in the next clip.
Okay, Shakib. Okay.
This is where the whole situation gets kind of crazy, because, you know, previously we were just seeing Shakib and Emily just doing like normal couple stuff, and, you know, Shakib seemed pretty alright besides the badminton thing. But finally, we're introduced to Shakib's mother, and already you can tell they're a little unnaturally close, I guess you could say, especially for a man of his age. Just that 5-second clip has already brought Shakib from like a solid 9. You know, he's handsome, he's got some muscles on him, you know, he's pretty high up there in my opinion. He got brought from like a 9 to a 5 probably at best. And I think most kids probably stop being fed by their mothers at like 2 or 3. And this grown man, 10 times that age, 10 times 3, he's 30 years old. He's just chilling here scrolling through Twitter while his mom feeds him oatmeal. And it's kind of jarring.
I made it with all my love. Enjoy it.
This is really, really good.
I love to feed chicken, and always I'm going to do it. It's a very beautiful feeling.
Now, when I first saw this clip, I thought it was probably the sweetest, cutest thing ever. Like, it just, she looks so genuine and happy to be around him. And this clip, honestly, it made me do the little aww thing. You know, actually, it came out of my mouth a little bit. That's never happened before. But, I mean, obviously, the whole thing about feeding your 30-year-old son is kind of crazy. But the obvious joy that it gives her kind of made me forget about that aspect of it. Unfortunately, this does happen to be the only time in the whole clip that she shows this kind side of herself.
I live with my parents. My dad loves the relationship I have with my mom because it kind of gives him some time to do what he's got to do. So in a way, he's like, you know what? You're cutting me some slack. But, you know, just always being there for her.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
So this seems to happen a lot in these kind of cringy, awkward TLC shows where there's a family member or a friend that you think should be pretty involved in the situation that is completely absent from being on camera and being in the show. And it's kind of funny because, like, he said, he talks about his dad getting away from his mom or whatever, but they don't show him, which just means the dad figured out that they were doing a sort of semi-documentary on his son and his wife, and he was like, he did not want any part of it. He wanted to get completely out of that situation, which is completely understandable. You know, if my son had that kind of situation with my wife years and years from now, I don't think I'd want to be on television for it. I probably wouldn't even let them do it, to be honest.
Oh my goodness. Why she's here?
So obviously the clip wasn't really that long to begin with. I kind of just edited it because I thought it would be funny to extend it, because when I originally watched it, it was still pretty long, that clip, where they kind of just stare at each other. I don't really know if that happened organically or if that's due to TLC's editing, because I know they really like to draw out these awkward moments so that you'll kind of just keep watching, because it's, you know, kind of like if you see an accident on the side of the highway, where the worse it is, the longer you'll look. So I think they kind of intentionally mess things up a little bit. So that might be the case here, but they also, they kissed right in front of her. And you'll see by the way that Shakib's mom acts, she really does not like Emily. So doing that is just provoking her. It's probably not the best idea when they're about to tell her what they're going to tell her.
Did you tell her to come?
Because she has something to say.
No, Shakib, you have something to say.
Okay, I have something to say.
So the stuff I was mentioning earlier about him kind of acting a little childish and kind of like a middle schooler, and then how I showed you the clip of his mom feeding him, that stuff it's definitely weird, and I wouldn't say it's completely attractive for most people probably, but now we're kind of entering the realm of, okay, you're being too childish, and it's actually something that will hurt the relationship, whereas the other stuff that he was doing was kind of just quirky, and it was just weird. But you know, if you love him enough, you'll deal with it, right? But now he can't like stand up for himself. He can't speak his mind. So it feels like, and especially through the rest of this clip, Emily is acting as his mother essentially, and is standing up for herself way more than he is for himself, or even her as her partner. Which personally, you know, you look at the guy and you figure he probably has it down. He can probably like stand up for himself, especially to his mother. But also, just look at those big meaty hams. I mean, let's look at the next piece of the clip.
Layla has no idea about our plans. At this point, I am completely over waiting, and as his girlfriend, I'm ready for Shakib to make me a priority, and I'm ready for Shakib to make the decision to move out now.
So this is pretty understandable. You know, they've been together for 3 years, which is a really long time. She's wanting Shakib to finally move out of his parents' house, which is wild. At 30, you'd think you'd try to be moving out because, you know, even in your teenage years, you're already like, man, I really just want to leave this house and get away from my family. But you'll see that Shakib has really bad skills when it comes to like standing up against his mother, because he's not very good at expressing how he feels. He's kind of torn between what his girlfriend wants and what his mother wants, which should not be the case at his age, but you'll see it in the next piece of the clip.
I wanted to tell you that I want to,
What?
like,
Today, Junior?
Why are you stuttering? Just tell her directly. That's the issue with you. Look her in the eyes and tell
Who
her.
you are talking like that in front of me?
So this is obviously not an ideal situation for Emily, especially since she has invested so much time into this relationship with Shakib, and then seeing that Shakib really just cannot stand up to his mom, having a really hard time choosing to move in with his girlfriend, having a really hard time opposing his mom. It must be like really heartbreaking for her, considering, you know, 3 years is a really long time, and even if she wanted to leave him after this, which I'm sure most women in the world would want to leave somebody that would act this way in this kind of situation, even if she wanted to, that must be so hard, because she spent a lot of time on this guy just to let him go because of his mother problems.
Bye, Emily. Have a good time.
Bye, have a great time.
Now, bye. Get out of here.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
You just ruling my day with my son today. I'm done.
What are you doing?
I'm not
with?
talking
Just say
about.
it.
No,
Just say it.
I don't want to see
Just say it.
you,
Just
your
say it. Just
face.
say it.
Shakib is moving out with me.
Shakib's mom is being absolutely brutal right now, even before Emily says that they're planning on moving out. And just being around Emily is enough to make Shakib's mom mad, and that's really wild considering that she's like 60-something and should be able to handle being around people that she doesn't like. And on top of this, Shakib still can't grow a pair and tell her that they're going to move out, and kind of just hides behind Emily and makes her do all the talking, which is just a beta move and another example of how Emily's kind of like her second mom in a way.
We're gonna do it.
In my dad body. He's going to stay with me for the rest of his life. She's crazy. I'm the mother. I am the one brought Shakib in the war. So Shakib is not going to move out? No.
So this is where I kind of start really feeling bad for Emily, because, you know, you can just look at Shakib's face. He's literally taking no initiative at all, and I'm sure it doesn't feel great for Emily to not even be supported by her own boyfriend of 3 years. And she pretty much has to face this problem all by herself. I know that if this happened to me, it would definitely take the wind out of my sails a bit and make me much less excited to move in with my significant other, because, you know, they aren't pushing towards that goal at all, and they're leaving the whole issue up to me.
This is the
I'm
next
not
step
listening.
of our relationship.
I'm not listening to you.
The reality is, I do eventually want to move out, and I didn't.
No, not eventually, now. Tell your mom now. Say it now. Why are you hesitant again?
Hold on.
It makes
But
me
what?
so sad that this guy literally cannot contribute anything to the conversation. Literally nothing. And is even backtracking and saying he wants to move out eventually, rather than now, which is what Emily's trying to do. And he's acting like a 5th grader, asking out their crush to the school dance, and it frustrates me because he's 30 years old, and he should not be even with his mom at all. He should have left the house like 20 years ago. Well, I mean, 10 years ago.
I'm having second thoughts about moving out because I just don't want this. I don't want to move out with all this stress.
I want to give everyone a chance to just take a break, breathe in, you know, give my mom some time to actually digest that we're moving out together, me and Emily. And yeah, even though I promised Emily that I will be moving out, just a little time.
Okay, so this is the end of the clips that I have for today. I cannot stand this dude right now. He is being such a baby. I have not actually seen like the real show. These are just the clips that were for free on YouTube. I really hope that either he manned up or Emily left him. If you've seen the show, please let me know in the comments like what happened. I guess I'll see you guys next time.